Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Selena and today, if you obviously saw the title of this video, I'm going to be talking about my recent miscarriage, signs, symptoms, and what it looks like pretty much. So this is a little bit more emotional video than I'm used to, but hopefully it does help someone else that might be going through the same thing, or they're pregnant and they just want to do research about it. So yeah, let's get started. I got pregnant on my wedding night, actually. It was my conception date, June 15, 2019. And we were extremely blessed to be able to get pregnant on the first time we tried. We've been dating for 12 years, we got married, and we decided, okay, let's try to have a baby. And lo and behold, we got pregnant the first time we tried. So we were extremely blessed. We went on our honeymoon shortly after our wedding, and I actually didn't even take a pregnancy test until I got home. And our honeymoon was pretty long. It was 3 weeks out of the country. And when I got back to Canada, I said, okay, I haven't got my period, so obviously I think I'm pregnant. Let's go get a pregnancy test to confirm it. So we went to the store, we bought 2 pregnancy tests, both of them positive. One said yes. We were extremely happy. We were just over the moon pretty much about the pregnancy. And then 9 days later, unfortunately, I did have a miscarriage. I was 6 weeks pregnant. So signs and symptoms of being pregnant, the ones I felt while I was on vacation was my breasts were very tender. I had a slight cramping. I gained weight actually, 6-7 pounds I gained, which is pretty off for me because I have been the same weight pretty much since high school. So I knew either I was eating too much on vacation or I was pregnant. So some people don't even gain that much weight like the first 6 weeks. So I wasn't sure what it was. So basically, 9 days later, I had some different symptoms and found out that I miscarried. So let's talk about when I miscarried, which was at work. I was at work, it was 10 o'clock in the morning, everything was fine. We went to the doctor the week before, and the next week after that, we were actually gonna get our ultrasound to hear the heartbeat. So I was very excited, nothing was going wrong. And when I went to the doctor, she said, wow, you're very easy. You're 27, so you're at a good age. You're within normal weight. You work out. I work out 4 to 5 times a week. I eat really healthy, and I never thought miscarriage would go through my mind. They said, wow, so see you at the ultrasound. And literally 4 days later after that, I was at work, 10 in the morning, and I've had cramping throughout the first couple weeks, which the doctor said was completely normal, but this day it was so painful. It was very extreme cramping, period-like cramping. So if you are not on your period or not on birth control and you know what regular cramping feels like, it is very painful. I couldn't sit in my chair at work, and I was getting up, trying to stand, and I said, this is not right. I went to the washroom, and then I saw my underwear, which had about a coin size blood on my underwear. I immediately started crying. I knew something was up. Called my husband at work. He calmed me down, said, don't worry. The doctor said this might be normal because this might be implantation bleeding. So I got myself together, said, okay, don't jump to conclusions, and I went back to my desk, and every 2 hours I would check my underwear, and yeah, it had coin-sized bleeding every 2 hours. So I went home, called my doctor, and they said, nothing we can do about it today, come in tomorrow and we'll see what happens. So in my heart, at this time, I knew that I was about to miscarry. I didn't feel like I was pregnant anymore, even though the miscarriage hasn't happened yet. I just felt like not the same as I did the last couple weeks. So then from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. I started bleeding extremely heavily. So not coin size anymore. It was more like my pad was filling up within a couple hours. And if you're pregnant, if you don't know this, and you start bleeding, you actually can't wear a tampon, so you have to just wear a pad. And so I was just checking it, and it was just full every couple hours, and I was like, this is not good, this is not right. And what made me 100% sure that I miscarried was the next day. So when I woke up in the morning, it was about 7 a.m. I went to the washroom, and I saw on my pad some tissue, and it was gray. It was about this big, so it was fairly a lot of tissue. And I've never seen this type of substance come out of my body before, so I knew that this must be a miscarriage. I started crying, I was heartbroken. I looked it up online, and there it was. Tissue coming out is a sign that you miscarried. And I just felt like I didn't even want to go to the doctor anymore, because like my body took care of it. The miscarriage happened, and now I just need to mentally get over it, like, so to speak, or mentally like cope with it. Anyways, I had to go to the doctor, so I went anyways. They confirmed what you're describing is 99% sure is a miscarriage, but we'll take a blood test anyways. So they took a blood test, and I just took one like on Friday, and this was Tuesday. So from Friday to Tuesday, my hormone levels that like tell you're pregnant would cut in half, decreased, which is not good obviously if you're pregnant. And then I took one the week after, and it was under 5, which means I'm no longer pregnant. So obviously I miscarried. And so when I was at the doctor, when they told me, yeah, you probably miscarried, I asked them, I was like, why did this happen? Why did this happen to me? I'm picture perfect person to have a baby. I'm good age. Like, everything they said was like, I had no risks. But then they told me, like, that's not what miscarriage is. It's not about like your risks. Yeah, you have a higher risk if you're unhealthy and everything like that, but even if you're 100% healthy, you still have a 1 in 4 chance of having a miscarriage. 1 in 4 pregnancies and a miscarriage, and I did not know that before. I did not know anything about miscarrying. I didn't know people that, I've maybe heard of people that had a miscarriage, but I've never known someone personally that had one. And I didn't know why they had one. People don't talk about miscarriage, and it usually happens before 12 weeks, 90% of the time. Yeah, it does happen after 12 weeks, but most of the time it's before, so people haven't even told people they were pregnant. I told my parents, my husband's parents, and my brother and his sister, or my brother and his wife. I did tell my sister, but then I miscarried that same day, so I don't regret telling them, and I was so happy when I was pregnant, and I wanted to tell them. I'm very close with my family, and yes, I told them right away. And the fact that I had to tell them that I miscarried didn't make me regret telling them in the first place, because I was so happy, and I would never not tell them something just because of the chance that I might have a miscarriage. So basically, I told everybody, yeah, I did, I miscarried, and I was heartbroken. The worst thing people can say to you and you have to deal with is people saying, oh, don't worry, you can try again. Of course I can try again. I know I can try again, but I still lost something. I lost something growing in me. I lost a child, essentially, even though it was early. If you miscarried the next day after you find out, 9 days later like me, or weeks after in the second trimester or third trimester, or you lost a child, it's still loss, and you can't just say, oh, you'll try again, because you still felt that loss. And what I think about now is trying to get pregnant again, and that being my first pregnancy, I was so happy and so optimistic that in my next one, I know that I will be worried and scared the first trimester, second trimester of the pregnancy, and I hate knowing that I'm going to feel like that in my next pregnancies. So yeah, that's what happened to me. Those are my signs and symptoms of a miscarriage, and what the miscarriage looks like. I think if you do have a miscarriage later than I did, you have a choice of having a pill taken just for it to complete, or surgery or something like that. But for me, like, my body just took care of it on its own. And one thing that really helped me with coping with the miscarriage was when the doctor said that the body can tell if the baby is not going to be healthy. So if the egg and sperm come together and it doesn't come together perfectly, if there's something wrong and the body can sense it, it will just reject the pregnancy. And that is the main cause of a miscarriage. And that is something I also didn't know, that your body can just reject something that doesn't think that it would come out perfectly healthy. And that's how I cope with it, because I 100% feel blessed that it happened, because I would never want to bring a child into the world that wasn't as healthy as it could be. And if the body just doesn't think that, then you have to respect the fact that it will just reject it, and next time you'll have a healthy baby. And if your pregnancy goes the whole way, and you should be happy, like you had a healthy pregnancy, and you know that your baby will come out perfect. And in this case, like, your body knows it's not. And so I feel that's how I cope with it. And when the doctor told me that, it really helped me mentally and emotionally with what happened. And I hope it helps you if you haven't heard that before, because a lot of people go through it and they don't tell anyone, or they have to go through it alone, and it's still loss and it still hurts. So yeah, that's my story, and I hope that it helped you if you're going through the same thing, or if you're thinking about getting pregnant, possibilities that could happen. Never think about those things. You always should be optimistic. But anyways, if you liked this video, give it 2 thumbs up, and definitely subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be posting some more videos about our trying to conceive journey, and some other things that are going on in my life. I still have to post some videos about my wedding and some other things like that, my trip to Bali, and some tips and reviews for places that we were at. So if any of those things interest you, definitely subscribe and see some of my next videos coming up. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day. Thanks. Bye.